Jaden, what is that?
Well, it's what?
Are you sure you didn't call my name?
Why would I call your name?
I was out there and I heard something say my name. No. Should we just go get your dad?
Where's your dad? My mom told me he killed himself.
What up, Terrell? You do whatever it takes to protect your family. You hear me? Protect each other.
Quit acting like my older brother. I'm fine.
You're the one that's all scared. Now listen to me. As soon as you turn on the power, you get back in the house and call 911, alright? We're all we got. So make every second count. You got that? Cousin!
What the hell are you guys doing?
There's something attacking us. What?
Turn, wake up, wake up. Turn, wake up.
Why aren't you asleep?
I can't. Wow, this is...
Why the hell did you go out there?
Please, don't leave me alone.
Calm down, Jaden. Stay strong.
Before I get into this proof of concept, I would like to make an important statement regarding where this story comes from and where its value is held. I just had a little cousin pass away at the negligent hands of people who were supposed to protect him, who were supposed to have his well-being at their top priority. I'm talking about healthcare providers, not his mother. His mother's a great mother. I'm talking about the system. That's where this story comes from. Too many times through generations, Native children have been at the mercy of the ones who are supposed to protect them. Foster care services, health care, residential schools, abusive homes, just abusive circumstances. And too many times has it had a bad outcome. So while this movie is going to be a killer horror movie, there's meaning behind what you just saw. There's purpose behind what you just saw. And I hope you felt that. This is for all the Native kids who had to grow up with too little sleep, too many bruising, too many tears, not enough role models, nowhere near safety, and unfortunately, sometimes too short of lives. That is what They're Not Here will stand for. Hello, I'm Takala Tatum, the director, creator, writer, producer of They're Not Here. You call me whatever you want, I pretty much am They're Not Here. As some of you may know, I'm also the creator of Torn Apart, which now just released a little over 7 months ago. As you've now seen the proof of concept trailer with an amazing score by my composer David Willocks, I'm really proud of everything that went into making this happen. But of course, that begs the question of what is this proof of concept and why does it even exist? To be straightforward with you and completely transparent, They're Not Here did not finish production. They're Not Here did not accomplish what it set out to accomplish, and They're Not Here, this version at least, will not be released. It is an unfinished product. Now there are multiple different topics and aspects of explaining what happened and why it happened and where it leads us now. The first thing I would like to bring up and get out of the way is that we faced unfortunate obstacles that required one of our core team members to leave in the middle of production. Without getting into their personal business, once we were left one team member short, we began to fall behind and fast. I'm gonna just have to go off the cuff right now and just read it off my phone because I don't have it memorized. It's been a long week, bear with me. We were still making great progress, and even up to the last day of production, we probably filmed close to 50% of the movie. We were on set every day, capturing footage and making a movie. But losing one team member in the middle of production was something that slowed us down to a rate that wasn't efficient enough to finish through with the rest of the movie. It was something that we could not recover from. That leads us into the next topic of discussion, which is that once that team member had left the crew, we were left with two of us, me and another team member known as Natani. Yes, we were originally making this movie with 3 people and the occasional help of an extra few hands. It was very possible We had built up plenty of teamwork making Torn Apart, and we entered They're Not Here running. The first few days of production when we were a team were beautiful. We were perfectly on schedule, we had our roles down and were executing well. Once it became a two-man show, I didn't have the proper time to direct, to be the storyteller, to bridge the gap between the crew and the story. Our talent, man. Our young and amazing talent in Syrian and Tannen, who were both 13 and 10 years old, were so incredibly good. It made me so proud to see how much untapped potential there is on the reservation. It truly breaks my heart knowing that we could not see it through to the end. Knowing how many people were excited for it. It's one of my biggest failures. One of my biggest heartbreaks. But it was Syrian and Tannen's first time acting, and although they were doing amazing, any actor needs a director to be fully engaged with them in order to tell the story in the best way possible. I was not able to do that anymore. I was not able to devote my time to directing and telling the story the way it should be. Keeping our two young actors fresh and ready to perform time and time again. I was not able to give them the tools they needed to succeed. The last topic of discussion, to explain exactly what happened, has to do with time and money. Now I know that most of you think, of course you failed. You can't make a feature with $3,000. What'd you think was going to happen? We made Torn Apart with a little under $2,500. And it was on a much larger scale. We shut down an entire rest area, worked inside an abandoned winery, worked with probably around 20 actors to make that movie. You cannot tell me that I can't make a movie that only requires 2 boys for 90% of the movie and takes place in and around one single house for $3,000. That is insanely doable, and it absolutely was. But when we were reduced to a 2-man team and we started falling behind and the clock started ticking, the equipment rental was due on a certain date, all of a sudden we realized that we couldn't continue without running money out of our own pockets. And I still did that. I kept us afloat towards the end of production with money out of my own pocket because that's how bad I wanted it. But as I saw, yeah, it could work. We could finish the movie. The quality of the movie was taking a nosedive. As I mentioned before, I was not able to devote my time to directing and telling the story the way it should be. That is when I knew that even if we finished the movie, it wouldn't come out the way it needed to be. It wouldn't be at its maximum potential, and it wasn't worth running ourselves dry for it. And look, I know I could be a perfectionist, but I did not cancel this movie because it wasn't perfect. When I watch Torn Apart, I see the things that we could work on, that I can improve on. I also accept that fact because I know that we took Torn Apart to the maximum potential that it had in the moment. We gave it all we had at the time. The ultimate decision that I made with calling They're Not Here is because I knew this wasn't our full potential. We could give it more. We just couldn't bounce back from what happened to us. We knew we were being hindered, and that was something that we could not live with. Even if we were able to finish the movie, it wouldn't be an accomplishment, and it wouldn't be something that we would be proud of. I hope I explained it all well enough to where most of you can understand, and most people will be upset. I'm sitting here giving you a professional director's message and breakdown, but I'm pissed off. I'm livid at what happened to us. I'm so angry at what potential this movie had and how it was wasted because of external factors out of our control. But I have to keep pushing. I have failed more times than I could count in my life. My constant failures in life is what pushes me towards success. One of my favorite quotes and messages of all time comes from Michael Jordan. He missed over 9,000 shots in his career. He's been trusted to take the game-winning shot time and time again and failed. But that is why he succeeds, because he continuously chooses to push through adversity and trust himself rather than running from it. That is how I'm tackling this situation. All of those bad thoughts went through my head. I'm a failure. I blew it. How am I going to be anything if I'm already failing now? But I had to remind myself that the only reason I have ever seen success in my life is because I chose to keep moving forward. Failure is only met when you truly give up, when you truly stop trying, and I refuse to do that. I've been afraid to fail my entire life. I've given up too many times to count. That is not who I am anymore. Now here's what happens next. We have created this They're Not Here proof of concept in order to make this movie the way it needs to be made. We will make this movie. We will tell this story the way it deserves to be told. Because man, after being on set, seeing the story come to life, hearing the lines being read, seeing the footage and stills, this is one of my greatest works. And while I will still continue to create good things, there's something special about They're Not Here. Something that will never be able to be replicated, and something that is unmatched. It's truly one of the most touching and powerful stories I've ever told and ever will tell. I truly believe that. With this proof of concept and a more fine-tuned script, hand in hand, I want to pitch this script. I want to make this movie on a real budget. We don't need anything crazy. It's a horror movie in one house with a couple characters. It's real light with a real crew. I'm sitting on gold. This movie would blow up. The time is now, and I cannot afford to sit and soak in my misery. I have to keep pushing, because this story is more than just for myself. This story represents a true and raw and dark side of Native Americans that I still do not see in the media today, even as Native Americans are slowly becoming the next hot thing. This is why I am hungry to tell a story such as this one, because it's a genre film that can make a lot of money and appeal to a mass audience, while also representing the Native Americans that still are not being represented today. There is a dark and depressing world that is swallowing our communities, and I want to tackle it head on, while showing and telling a story of strength, a story of brotherhood, a story of love, just how I did with Torn Apart. This is my way of telling stories. This is my way of speaking our truth. Now I have some specific avenues and goals in mind that I want to tackle in order to make this movie. Some certain programs and just different avenues that I could tackle to inch my way closer to getting some help, some resources. And with this proof of concept trailer to go along with any pitch that I need to make, I think it puts us ahead of the game. I will always still represent this version of the movie. This was still so much hard work and effort put into making this movie, or should I say proof of concept. We will still be fulfilling all backers' rewards. We will still be rooting and working towards making this story come to fruition. Thank you to everyone involved. Thank you to all the Kickstarter supporters. Thank you to Syrian and Tannen. Thank you to their family. Thank you to Fawn Hutchins, who let us use her house. Thank you to the Cougar Den, allowing us to film inside their restaurant. And thank you to anyone that supports. Thank you to anyone that believes. This isn't the end. It's really only the beginning. And that's the scary part.